Amharic. The Semitic official language of Ethiopia. Backache. Prolonged pain in one's back. Bejeweled. Decorated with jewels. Bleary. Of a person's eyes, dull and not focusing properly, especially as a result of tiredness. Blockhead. Informal, a very stupid person. Blow up. An enlargement of a photograph. Bollard. A short post on a ship or wharf for securing a rope. Carib. A member of a South American people living mainly in coastal regions of French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, and Venezuela. Ceilidh. A social event with Scottish or Irish folk music and singing, traditional dancing, and storytelling. Chickadee. A North American titmouse with a black head and white breast, widely distributed in the US and Canada. Chopstick. Each of a pair of thin, tapered sticks held in one hand and used as eating utensils by the Chinese and Japanese. Circumflex. A mark. Clamber. Climb or move in an awkward and laborious way. Claptrap. Nonsense. Colostrum. The first fluid produced by the mammary glands after giving birth. Conquistador. Ist/or conquistadors, a Spanish conqueror of Mexico or Peru in the 16th century. Counteroffensive. An attack made in response to one from an enemy, typically on a large scale or for a prolonged period. Cytology. The branch of biology concerned with the structure and function of plant and animal cells. Diatonic. Music involving only the notes of the major or minor scale, without additional sharps, flats, etc. Divvy. Informal divide up and share. Dixieland. A kind of jazz with a strong two-beat rhythm. Extensor. A muscle whose contraction extends a limb or other part of the body. Fishtail. A thing that is forked like a fish's tail. Flagstone. A flat, square or rectangular stone slab used for paving. Foxhole. A hole in the ground used by troops as a shelter against enemy fire or as a firing point. Freon. Trademark an aerosol propellant, refrigerant, or organic solvent consisting of one or more of a group of chlorofluorocarbons and related compounds. Frisson. A sudden strong feeling of excitement or fear, a thrill. Frittata. An Italian dish made with fried beaten eggs, resembling a Spanish omelette. Gird. Literary encircle or secure something with a belt or band. Gorgonzola. A rich, strong-flavored Italian cheese with bluish-green veins. Haft. The handle of a knife, axe, or spear. Hedgerow. A hedge of wild bushes and occasional trees bordering a road or field. Hydrodynamics. The branch of science concerned with the forces acting on or exerted by fluids, especially liquids. Impale. Pierce someone or something with a sharp object. Incisor. A narrow-edged tooth at the front of the mouth, adapted for cutting. Infanta. Historical, a daughter of the king or queen of Spain or Portugal. Ironwork. Things made of iron. Jiggy. Informal one, uninhibited, especially in a sexual way. Jojoba. An oil extracted from the seeds of a North American shrub, used in cosmetics. Jostle. Push or bump against someone roughly. Judicature. The administration of a national or state justice system. Cot. The leaves of an Arabian shrub, which are chewed, or drunk as an infusion, as a stimulant. Kind-hearted. Having a kind and sympathetic nature. Krona. OL. Lackadaisical. Lacking enthusiasm and thoroughness. Leftism. The political views or policies of the left. Longboat. Historical, a large boat that could be launched from a sailing ship. Mandrel. A shaft or spindle in a lathe to which work is fixed while being turned. Martingale. A strap or set of straps running from the noseband or reins to the girth of a horse, used to prevent the horse from raising its head too high. Megahertz. A unit of frequency equal to 1 million hertz. Monosyllabic. Consisting of one syllable. Moonbeam. A ray of moonlight. Motorcar. Dated or Brit. Mycology. The scientific study of fungi. Nympho. Informal, a nymphomaniac. Us. Extremely funny. Patristic. Relating to the early Christian theologians or their writings. Phraseology. A particular or characteristic way in which words are used. Pursuance. Formal, the carrying out of a plan or action. Quarrelsome. Tending or likely to quarrel. Quire. 24 or 25 sheets of paper, 1/20th of a ream. Recapitulation. An act of recapitulating something. Reclassify. Classify someone or something differently. Redskin. Dated or offensive, an American Indian. Retentive. Of a person's memory, good at storing facts and impressions. Retool. Equip a factory with new or adapted tools. Snakebite. Brit. Snowdrop. A plant that bears drooping white flowers during late winter. Southeasterly. An adverb in a southeastward position or direction. Sparkler. A handheld firework that gives out sparks. Sputter. Make a series of soft explosive sounds. Stigmatize. Regard or treat someone or something as worthy of disgrace or great disapproval. Strop. A strip of leather for sharpening tazi oars. Subaltern. An officer in the British Army below the rank of captain. Surfeit. An excessive amount of something. Svelte. Slender and elegant. Televise. broadcast something on television. Theravada. The more conservative of the two major traditions of Buddhism, the other being Mahayana, practiced mainly in Sri Lanka, Burma, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos. Tory. A member or supporter of the British Conservative Party. Toupee. A small wig or artificial hairpiece worn to cover a bald spot. Unbelieving. Feeling or showing that one does not believe someone or something. Undigested. Of food, not digested. Untruth. A lie. Voltaic. Referring to electricity produced by chemical action in a battery. Warhorse. Informal, a veteran soldier, politician, etc., who has participated in many campaigns or contests. Wind up. An act of bringing something to an end. Wonton. A small round dumpling with a savory filling, typically served in soup. Afrobeat. A style of popular music incorporating elements of African music and jazz, soul, and funk. Aglow. Glowing. Ampere. The base unit of electric current in the SI system. Amphora. An ancient Greek or Roman jar with two handles and a narrow neck. Apoplexy. Extreme anger. Aright. Dialect correctly, properly. Bluey. Almost or partly blue. Bodacious. Informal, excellent, admirable, or attractive. Centripetal. Physics pulling toward a center. Chambermaid. A woman who cleans rooms in a hotel. Chargeback. A demand by a credit card provider for a retailer to make good the loss on a fraudulent or disputed transaction. Clop. A sound made by a horse's hooves on a hard surface. Commiserate. Express sympathy or pity, sympathize. Comorbidity. The simultaneous presence of two chronic diseases or conditions in a patient. Contortionist. An entertainer who twists and bends their body into strange and unnatural positions. Counterclaim. A claim made in response to and opposing a previous claim. Curmudgeon. A bad-tempered or surly person. Dander. Informal, lose one's temper. Deregulate. Remove regulations from something. Dispirited. Discouraged or depressed. Egghead. Informal, derogatory of very intelligent or studious person. Enchanter. A man who uses magic or sorcery, especially to put someone or something under a spell. Endoscope. An instrument that can be introduced into the body to view its internal parts. Escapement. A mechanism that connects and regulates the moving parts in a clock or watch. Exhume. Dig out something buried, especially a corpse, from the ground. Fibrin. An insoluble protein formed as a fibrous mesh during the clotting of blood. Fitful. Not continuous, regular, or steady. Footlocker. A small trunk or chest, typically the width of a single bed. Gannet. A large seabird with mainly white plumage. Garnishment. Law, a court order directing that money or wages of a third party be seized to satisfy a debt. Grebe. A diving waterbird with a long neck and a very short tail. Hanoverian. Relating to the royal house of Hanover, who ruled as monarchs in Britain from 1714 to 1901. Hazel. A shrub or small tree bearing catkins in spring and edible nuts in autumn. Heliport. An airport or landing place for helicopters. Huffy. Easily offended. Inapplicable. Not relevant or appropriate. Incarcerate. Imprison or confine someone. Inexact. Not quite accurate. Interregnum. A period between reigns or political regimes when normal government is suspended. Isosceles. Having two sides of equal length. Jocular. Humorous or amusing. Julep. A sweet drink made from sugar syrup. Kookaburra. A very large, noisy Australasian kingfisher that feeds on reptiles and birds. Kurta. A loose collarless shirt worn by people from the Indian subcontinent. Lilt. A characteristic rising and falling of the voice when speaking. Mastic. An aromatic gum from the bark of a Mediterranean tree, used in making varnish and chewing gum and as a flavoring. Methuselah. Humorous, a very old person. Nacelle. The streamlined outer casing of an aircraft engine. Necromancy. Prediction of the future by supposedly communicating with the dead. Outdoorsman. A person who spends a lot of time outdoors or doing outdoor activities. Peplum. A short flared strip of fabric attached at the waist of a woman's jacket, dress, or blouse. Perlite. A form of obsidian, volcanic rock, consisting of glassy globules, used as insulation or in a mixture with plant compost. Personify. Represent a quality or concept by a figure in human form. Petrel. A black and white seabird that typically flies far from land. Prepubescent. Relating to or in the period before puberty. Quickfire. Unhesitating and rapid. Repossess. Retake possession of something when a buyer fails to make the required payments. Rescission. Formal, the official cancelling of a law, order, or agreement. Sachet. A small perfumed bag used to scent clothes in a drawer or closet. Shekel. The basic unit of money of modern Israel. Sidereal. Relating to the distant stars or their apparent positions in the sky. Slovenly. Untidy and dirty. Sniffle. Sniff slightly or repeatedly, typically because of a cold or fit of crying. Softy. Variant spelling of sortie. Solarium. Rise 0/1, a room equipped with sun lamps or sunbeds. Sonogram. A graph showing the distribution of energy at different frequencies in a sound. Stoma. Technical 1-minute pour in the leaf or stem of a plant, allowing gases to move in and out. Subscript. Written or printed below the line. Surmount. Overcome a difficulty or obstacle. Symbology. The study or use of symbols. Tachometer. An instrument that measures the working speed of an engine, typically in revolutions per minute. Taproom. A room in which beer is available on tap, a bar in a hotel or inn. Tarnation. And exclamation used as a euphemism for damnation. Thumbprint. A mark made by the inner part of the top joint of the thumb. Tocopherol. Vitamin E. Taupe. Old use or literary regularly drink too much. Tractable. Easy to control or influence. Triplex. A residential building divided into 3 apartments. Tuneful. Having or producing a pleasing tune. Typeset. Arrange or generate the data or type for written material to be printed. Unicellular. Biology consisting of a single cell. Watchword. A word or phrase expressing the central aim or belief of a person or group. Rack. A coarse brown seaweed that grows on the shoreline. Rack. Variant spelling of rack. Wrathful. Literary full of or showing great anger. Xylem. The tissue in plants that carries water and dissolved nutrients upward from the root and also helps to form the woody element in the stem. Abnegation. Formal the giving up of something that is valuable or desired. Amidships. And adjective in the middle of a ship. Antipodes. Australia and New Zealand, in relation to the Northern Hemisphere. Apportion. Share something out. Atare. Prattle, rattle on, gabble, chatter, jabber, twitter, burble, blather, informal yatter, blabber, jaw, gas, shoot your mouth off. Aver. Formal declare something to be the case. On. A stiff bristle growing from the ear or flower of barley, rye, and grasses. Backbencher. A member of parliament who does not hold a government or opposition post and who sits behind the front benches in the House of Commons. Band-aid. Trademark 1. An adhesive bandage with a gauze pad in the center, used to cover minor wounds. B-ball. Informal basketball. Beatnik. A young person associated with the Beat generation. Brandish. Wave or flourish something as a threat or in anger or excitement. Briny. Relating to brine, salty. Boggery. Anal intercourse. Calorific. Relating to the amount of energy contained in food or fuel. Capacious. Having a lot of space inside, roomy. Carbuncle. A severe abscess or multiple boil in the skin. Careful. taking care to avoid harm or trouble, cautious. Casbah. Variant spelling of Casbah. Countervailing. Having an equal but opposite effect. Croon. Hum, sing, or speak in a soft, low voice. Decant. Pour something from one container into another to separate liquid from sediment. Demoralize. Cause someone to lose confidence or hope. Depute. Appoint someone to perform a task for which one is responsible. Disjunction. A difference or lack of agreement between things expected to be similar. Displease. Annoy or upset someone. Distaff. A stick or spindle onto which wool or flax is wound for spinning. Elastomer. A natural or synthetic polymer with elastic properties, e.g., rubber. Entangle. Make something tangled. Eviscerate. Formal disembowel someone or something. Farsighted. Unable to see things clearly if they are relatively close to the eyes. Fibrinogen. A soluble protein present in blood plasma, from which fibrin is produced. Figural. Another term for figurative. Gaily. In a light-hearted and cheerful way. Gimlet. A small T-shaped tool with a screw tip for boring holes. Gladden. Make someone glad. Glasnost. The policy or practice of more open government. Goddaughter. A female godchild. Goldfield. A district in which gold is found as a mineral. Gravure. Short for photogravure. Griffin. Variant spelling of griffin. Idiom. Used in quotations to indicate an author or word that has just been mentioned. Impracticable. Impossible to be done in practice. Inadvisable. Likely to have undesirable results, unwise. In-house. And adverb within an organization. Inseam. The seam in a pair of pants from the crotch to the bottom of the leg, or the length of this. Insubordinate. Disobedient to orders or authority. Intemperate. Lacking self-control. Invalidity. The fact of being invalid. Jackfruit. The very large edible fruit of an Asian tree. Lanolin. A fatty substance found naturally on sheep's wool and used as a base for ointments. Lecithin. A substance found in egg yolk and other animal and plant tissues, often used as an emulsifier in food processing. Legalism. The practice of keeping strictly to the law. Libation. A drink poured out as an offering to a god. Lippy. Informal impudent. Loggia. A gallery or room with one or more open sides, especially with one side open to a garden. Lupin. Relating to or like a wolf or wolves. Lupin. A plant with a tall stem bearing many small colorful flowers. Matrilineal. Based on relationship with the mother or the female line of descent. Misanthrope. A person who dislikes and avoids other people. Mortician. An undertaker. Mouthfeel. The physical sensations in the mouth produced by a particular food. Necrophilia. Sexual intercourse with or attraction toward dead bodies. Necrotizing. Causing or accompanied by necrosis. Northeastward. Toward the northeast. Oblate. Geometry of a sphere-shaped body, flattened at each pole. Pawnshop. A pawnbroker's store. Peptic. Relating to digestion. Perineum. The area between the anus and the scrotum or vulva. Phaeton. Historical light, open four-wheeled horse-drawn carriage. Photoreceptor. A structure in an animal or plant that responds to light. Pigeonhole. Each of a set of small compartments where letters or messages may be left for people. Pimpernel. A low-growing plant with bright five-petaled flowers. Pitiable. Deserving or arousing pity. Posy. Variant spelling of posy. Posy. A small bunch of flowers. Profundity. Great depth of insight or knowledge. Protean. Tending or able to change or adapt, variable or versatile. Quickstep. A fast foxtrot, dance, in 4/4 time. Radioisotope. A radioactive isotope. Ragweed. A North American plant of the daisy family, whose pollen is a major cause of hay fever. Railcar. A railroad car. Ravish. Be ravished, literary be filled with great pleasure. Recrimination. An accusation made in response to one from someone else. Rehydrate. Absorb or cause to absorb moisture after dehydration. Rejoinder. A sharp or witty reply. Reprobate. A person who behaves in an immoral way. Riffle. Turn over the pages of a book or document quickly and casually. Sadhu. Indian, a holy man or wise man. Schmaltz. Informal excessive sentimentality. Shan't. Shall not. Smokestack. A chimney or funnel for discharging smoke from a locomotive, ship, or factory. Soothsayer. A person supposed to be able to foresee the future. Squeegee. A scraping tool with a rubber-edged blade, used for cleaning windows. Superscript. Written or printed above the line. Suppressant. A drug or other substance that prevents a bodily function from working. Sycophant. A person who flatters someone important in order to try to gain favor with them. Telecommuting. The practice of working from home, communicating with a central workplace by telephone, email, and fax. Tempeh. An Indonesian dish consisting of deep-fried fermented soybeans. Terroir. The complete natural environment in which a particular wine is produced, including factors such as the soil and climate. Thresh. Separate grains of cereals from the rest of the plant. Tinea. Technical term for ringworm. Townie. Informal one, a person who lives in a town, especially as distinct from one who lives in the country. Toxoplasmosis. A disease caused by a parasite, transmitted chiefly through undercooked meat, soil, or cat feces. Uncluttered. Not cluttered by too many objects or unnecessary items. Underbrush. Undergrowth in a forest. Uneaten. Not eaten. Unhook. Unfasten or detach something hide by a hook. Unscented. Not scented. Uptrend. An upward tendency, especially in economic matters. Woodblock. A block of wood from which woodcut prints are made. Abracadabra. A word said by magicians when performing a trick. Accessorize. Add a fashion accessory to a garment. Beneficent. Doing or resulting in good. Brigand. A member of a gang of bandits. Bursar. A person who manages the financial affairs of a college or university. Busk. Play music in the street in order to be given money by passers-by. Bustier. A woman's close-fitting strapless top. Cajole. Persuade someone to do something by coaxing or flattery. Candela. Physics, the SI unit of luminous intensity. Capon. A domestic cock that has been castrated and fattened for eating. Carpaccio. An Italian hors d'oeuvre consisting of thin slices of raw beef or fish served with a sauce. Carvel. Variant spelling of caravel. Cetacean. A sea mammal of an order including whales and dolphins. Chatterbox. Informal, a person who talks too much, especially about trivial matters. Chromite. The main ore of chromium, a brownish-black oxide of chromium and iron. Churlish. Rude and surly. Clamp down. Informal, a firm or harsh attempt to prevent something. Coir. Fiber from the outer husk of the coconut, used in potting compost and for making ropes and matting. Colloid. A homogeneous substance consisting of submicroscopic particles of one substance dispersed in another, as in an emulsion or gel. Compunction. A feeling of guilt that prevents or follows wrongdoing. Courgette. Brit. Cystitis. Inflammation of the urinary bladder, typically caused by infection and accompanied by frequent painful urination. Decentralize. Transfer authority from central to local government. Diarist. A person who writes a diary. Dispensable. Able to be replaced or done without. Dramedy. A television program or movie containing both dramatic and comedic elements. Dreamscape. A scene with the strangeness characteristic of dreams. Earthling. An inhabitant of the earth. Embroider. Sew decorative needlework patterns on something. Enjoin. Instruct or urge someone to do something. Enshrine. Preserve a right, tradition, or idea in a form that ensures it will be respected. Epigraph. An inscription on a building, statue, or coin. Exigent. Pressing, demanding. Faceplate. A protective or decorative cover for a piece of equipment or an electrical fitting. Flatware. Eating utensils such as knives, forks, and spoons. Footlights. A row of spotlights along the front of a stage at the level of the actor's feet. Functionalism. The theory that the design of an object should be governed by its use rather than an attractive appearance. Gangplank. A movable plank used to board or leave a ship or boat. Gazpacho. A cold Spanish soup made chiefly from tomatoes and peppers. Goulash. A Hungarian stew of meat and vegetables, flavored with paprika. Hallucinogen. A drug causing hallucinations. Hearken. Variant spelling of hearken. Harmonium. A keyboard instrument in which the notes are produced by air driven through metal reeds by foot-operated bellows. Hoedown. A gathering for lively folk dancing. Hothead. A rash or quick-tempered person. Hydrocortisone. A steroid hormone used to treat inflammation and rheumatism. Immunosuppression. Prevention of a person's natural response to infection, especially as induced to help the survival of an organ after a transplant operation. Impermanent. Not lasting or unchanging. Incommunicado. An adverb not able to communicate with other people. Indiscipline. Disorderly or uncontrolled behavior. Inscribe. Write or carve words or symbols on a surface. Insomuch. To the extent that. Jerkin. A sleeveless jacket. Jovian. Relating to the planet Jupiter or the class of giant planets to which Jupiter belongs. Loincloth. A piece of cloth wrapped around the hips, worn by men in some hot countries as their only garment. Lowbrow. Chiefly derogatory, not intellectual or interested in culture. Luckless. Having bad luck, unfortunate. Matchstick. The stem of a match. Mimetic. Imitating reality in art or literature. Misjudge. Form an incorrect opinion of someone or something. Monseigneur. A title or form of address for a French-speaking prince, cardinal, archbishop, or bishop. Operand. Mathematics, the quantity on 902 operator which an operation is to be done. Patagonian. A person from the South American region of Patagonia. Peephole. A small hole in a door through which callers may be identified. Pigtail. A braided length of hair worn singly at the back or on each side of the head. Pleat. A fold in fabric or an item of clothing, held by stitching the top or side. Pock. A pockmark. Podiatry. Another term for chiropody. Presage. Be a sign or warning of an event that is about to happen. Proscenium. The part of a stage in front of the curtain. Pseudoephedrine. A drug used as a nasal decongestant. Raver. Informal one, a person who regularly goes to raves. Recitative. The narrative and dialogue passages in an opera or oratorio, sung in a way that reflects the rhythms of ordinary speech. Reformat. Chiefly computing, give a new format to something. Retouch. Improve a painting, photograph, or other image by making slight additions or alterations. Rookery. A collection of rooks nests high in a clump of trees. Rootstock. A rhizome. Salish. A member of a group of American Indian peoples of the northwestern U.S. and the west coast of Canada. Sanctus. A hymn beginning Sanctus, 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 Holy, 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 forming a set part of the Mass. Sisal. Fiber made from the leaves of a tropical Mexican plant, used especially for ropes or matting. Slavish. Following or copying something without trying to be original. Sloshed. Informal drunk. Snippy. Informal curt or sharp. Stepchild. A child of one's husband or wife by a previous marriage. Stodgy. Of food, heavy and filling. Swaddle. Wrap someone in clothes or cloth. Tatty. Informal, worn and shabby. Teamster. A truck driver. Tenon. A projecting piece of wood made to fit into a mortise in another piece of wood. Tilde. An accent. Transmute. Change in form, nature, or substance. Tubercle. A small lump on a bone or on the surface of an animal or plant. Tuberous. Of a plant, resembling, forming, or having a tuber or tubers. Turbot. An edible flatfish of inshore waters, which has large bony swellings on the body. Twosome. A set of two people or things. Un-American. Not American in nature. Uncultivated. Of land, not used for growing crops. Unfreeze. Thaw something frozen. Vandalize. Deliberately destroy or damage property. Workmanlike. Showing efficient skill. Zapper. Informal one, a remote control for a television, DVD player, etc. Ahistorical. Lacking historical perspective, not historical. Anodyne. Unlikely to cause offense or disagreement, bland. Arapaho. A member of a North American Indian people living on the Great Plains. Assignee. Chiefly law when a person to whom a right or liability is legally transferred. Backspace. A key on a typewriter or computer keyboard used to move the carriage or cursor backward. Bail. A gathering for dancing. Beatbox. Informal one, a drum machine. Benighted. Lacking understanding of cultural, intellectual, or moral matters. Bivalve. A mollusk that lives in water and has a hinged double shell, such as an oyster, mussel, or scallop. Brigantine. A two-masted sailing ship, with the foremast square-rigged and the mainmast fore and aft rigged. Bugbear. A cause of anxiety or irritation. Buttonhole. A slit made in a garment to receive a button for fastening. Caned. Made or repaired with cane. Cerebrum. The main part of the brain, located in the front of the skull. Certifiable. Able or needing to be officially confirmed or recorded. Cheapen. Lower the price of something. Chide. Scold or rebuke someone. Chow. A machine for making butter by shaking milk or cream. Clownfish. A small brightly colored tropical sea fish. Coffer. A small chest for holding valuables. Contrive. Plan or achieve something in a clever or skillful way. Copulate. Have sexual intercourse. Corsage. A spray of flowers worn pinned to a woman's clothes. Cruciform. Having the shape of a cross. Debenture. An unsecured loan certificate issued by a company, backed by general credit rather than by specified assets. Decamp. Leave suddenly or secretly. Decommission. Take a ship out of service. Dickensian. Like the novels of Charles Dickens, especially in terms of the poverty that they portray. Discolor. Change to a different, less attractive color. Downtrend. A downward tendency, especially in economic matters. Drubbing. A beating. Earwax. The protective yellow waxy substance produced in the passage of the outer ear, earwig. Eclair. A cake of light pastry. Emanation. Something that emanates or comes from a source. Encumbrance. Something that prevents freedom of action or movement. Euphonium. A brass musical instrument resembling a small tuba. Gladiolus. A plant with sword-shaped leaves and tall stems of brightly colored flowers. Grabby. Informal one having or showing a selfish desire for something, greedy. Grandee. A Spanish or Portuguese nobleman of the highest rank. Hermeneutic. Relating to interpretation, especially of the Bible or literary texts. Hitchhike. Travel by getting free rides in passing vehicles. Inactivate. Make something inactive or inoperative.